Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Today I have a short discussion for you guys, and this was a request from one of our audience members asking me to talk about characters that I felt will be appropriate for Gotham Knights game. Now, even before the request, I already recorded another video talking about a villain that I felt will be a very appropriate villain if added to Gotham Knights. And so on seeing their request, I thought, yeah, we need to talk about Catwoman. And even though she's not a villain, she's some sort of an anti-hero that I feel would actually, be kind of pivotal if she's well written, but nonetheless, I can't fathom how they're going to actually add her to the entirety of the Gotham Knights story. Nonetheless, let's look at some history of Catwoman from the Arkham games and kind of see what role she's played. Now, the Arkham games, Arkham City and Arkham Knight basically had Catwoman in there play very nice roles. In case of Arkham City, I thought she played a very critical role, and in the case of Arkham Knight, she played a pivotal role. Nothing crazy, some sort of a distraction from, all of what Batman was doing. Now, if you come and kind of think about it, the character is very dynamic, very amazing in combat. They designed her very different from the others. From the combat that you can see, she fights very differently. She does a very good job in kind of, showing off what the Catwoman combat style is, even though we don't know whatever the heck it is in real combat. I mean, it's kind of flashy, but that's basically, some really cool stuff in regard to game mechanics. So if you were to say you want to put Catwoman in a video game mechanics is not something that she's lacking. I think what she'll probably be lacking is context. And when I say context, I basically mean, you're talking about a character that, even though she's quite pivotal in the other Arkham games, Gotham Knights wants to focus and center on the four knights. That is Batgirl, Red Hood, Robin, and Nightwing himself. And so with these already in mind for the developers and the writers, I think that context might really be kind of a challenge for them to find to be able to kind of put Catwoman in, unless the writers are willing to take a step to say, okay, Catwoman is basically, this kind of character that's an anti-hero, but she's got a lot of connections around Gotham. She can help the Gotham Knights in their bid to kind of take care of the city, and because of her connections, we can bring her into the story and have her be some sort of a useful, in quote, Batmom to the Gotham Knights. For her own independent storyline, then this game would have to be basically a gigantic, ginormous game. Because even when we go back and look at kind of some of the characters that are being requested, characters like Azrael to be in this game, I don't think Catwoman makes it up on the tier list a lot. And, for someone who basically says that Catwoman did a good job in providing a pivotal role, I can say that it's going to be challenging to put a character like this in the Gotham Knights game. Another thing too is if you even wanted to consider her for DLC, you'd have to consider all what it would entail to design DLCs for the four protagonists already, and then thinking about potentially other characters that will work in the DLC, which are the challenge maps and all of that stuff. In the case of Arkham Knight, Warner Brothers Games studio Rocksteady basically, Rocksteady themselves, were able to do a lot more characters. They were able to add Harley Quinn. They were able to add at one point Joker in Arkham Asylum. They were able to do Robin. They were able to do Nightwing, even the Arkham Knight himself. So they had a lot of reach. They had a lot of width to do that. And they also had Warner Brothers Games Montreal developing DLC on their behalf. So they could basically stretch it out very much. But in terms of Warner Brothers Games Montreal, it would have to depend on the scope at which they can actually, put out a lot of this content, or it would have to depend on the manpower that they have available for them to be able to start working on, things like this. And so these are the factors that have to be taken into account if we're going to be seeing, some really, really, far off characters. Again, too, if you want to consider the source material, that seems to be another, I would say, obstacle in itself, because Catwoman so far in the first part of the 52 comics with the Court of Owls, she necessarily makes a very short cameo rather than, say her being a major character so far in the writing. All she's just doing, or all she's just, done so far is basically make a cameo hoping that Batman comes back. Now, in the second part, I'm yet to still go back and review that, and hopefully we'll see what she's, what role she'll be playing. But then again, with this game, there are multiple storylines that they're actually, pulling from. So you never know. You might see, Catwoman. You might see Ivy. You might see a lot of these other characters that are, villains of Batman that are going to be showcased. And the game might be highlighting how the Gotham Knights are going to be taking on them. And if Catwoman happens to be there, then I think that's a plus for Catwoman fans on the long run. But so far, I want you to let me know in the comment section, do you think that Catwoman is a viable character for the narrative? If you think that's the case, let me know in the comment section. If you don't think so, also let me know, because I think she can be a viable character. That's my own, position. But I also think that it will be a challenge, and there are many other challenges to actually overcome with this gaming development right now, that to put her in there would mean that we have underestimated how much this game is supposed to be, covering. In regard, if Catwoman is going to be a character in this game, then I think the game's going to be releasing early this year if they already have all of her storylines and everything down. But, she may not be, and she may just be a DLC character. But I'll let you guys do the conversation in the comment section. I'll talk to you all in another video. Thank you very much. Peace out.